Last class we saw how to use for loop and how to use while loop, and I gave some uh, note on top of that whenever your number of iterations or how many times to repeat the loop is well known, then better to go for loop. And when number of iterations sometimes depends upon users input or output of some equation or anything not known during execution time, it will depend whether to stop the loop or to still continue the loop. So those kind of situations usually we should prefer while loop. There is one more loop called do while loop. We can compare while with do while, and you will see comparing to while. Do while is a loop which will execute at least once. This loop will execute at least once regardless of condition. Like if you remember last class I was giving you ATM example. When you go to ATM, first transaction it never asks you do you want to continue or not. After doing one transaction only, it was asking you do you want to continue or not. But in while loop we are forcefully giving that yes at the beginning, otherwise it was not allowing me. So if I will copy that while loop and change on top of that, it will be more understandable for you. So let me go to your folder and then open that while loop, and then I will make some changes on the while loop. So regardless of the condition, do while loop says I will execute at least once. Once complete the loop, then I will ask you whether you want to continue or not. That is what the idea. So I will copy paste this in Notepad. First let's understand here in Notepad, then we will go there. Can you see this line? String answer equal to yes. Don't you see forcefully you are giving yes? Even before continuation of the work, you are asking either user to forcefully say you want to continue or not, or you are giving hard coded data yes or no, right? If I will do something like this, simply open double quote, close double quote, or string.empty, that means I have not yet entered anything, string.empty, it will not allow me. Can I say? This will not allow me. Not even once it will allow. Now you will ask a question, sir, what is this loop? Loop is for repetition of the statement. But this is restricting me first time also. Let it repeat, let it restrict me repetition. What do you mean by restricting repetition? Restricting second time onwards. It's called restricting repetition. So first time nobody restricts, because first you do once, then only ask any more number, do you want to continue, any more transaction, makes sense. So from that angle you can say do while loop is better. So read this sentence, you will understand when do while loop will be used. Whenever you don't want to restrict, that means this is definition, but what you understood that I will write as a note here. Whenever you don't want to restrict first time execution, okay, check the condition at the end of first time execution, so that either it will allow second time onwards, or it will stop just after first time. So then you should go for do while loop. Okay, so ultimately all the loops are having uh, one common thing, it is repetition of the statement, but little use case is little different. You can say when number of iterations are well known, go for loop. Number of iterations are not well known, go for either do while or while. And out of while and do while, contrast is, if first time itself you want to restrict, go for while loop, and first time you don't want to restrict, after continuation of the first time, before second time execution, you have to check the condition whether to repeat the statement or not to repeat the statement, then go for do while. So how to write this do while statement is, instead of checking this condition at the beginning, you take the condition and check it at the end, and in that place you just put a do. Nothing much difference between while and do while. While checks the condition at the beginning, that's why first time also it restricts if condition is not matching. But do while says, I don't bother, first time you continue, first time you continue, repetition I will restrict. Repetition I will restrict means second time onwards I will restrict if not applicable. So this is now converted to do while. So same program, now let's try with, I will name it as loop underscore 3. So I will copy paste this. Let me save this notepad. So I will name it as using do while, and here we go, and just below that function I will paste this function. So here I will name it as do while underscore 1, do while loop underscore 1, because this is do while first program. Alright, so if you'll put a breakpoint here, easily you can understand what I actually wanted to tell here, what I wrote here. So let's call this function and see whether what we discussed it is behaving that way or not. So put a breakpoint here and then execute it. I'm updating additional programs in the same project, guys. So in Google Drive, the name of the folder will be same only, so don't confuse. Usually I used to delete the old one and I used to put the new one. So it came here. As of now, we have no idea answer is yes or answer is no or answer is something else. We have no idea, but it is allowing me to go inside. Just like your ATM, first it went inside, did the transaction, okay, did the transaction, then it asked me, do you have anything, any more transaction, or do you have any more number? That makes sense also. So before doing anything, if suddenly it asks, do you have any more transaction, then you will say, of course, yeah, I came here to ATM, or I came here to this program to enter the number to add something. So why at the beginning itself you are asking any more number to enter? So always first time should be allowed, but before executing the second time, it should restrict you. Do you have any more number or you don't have any more number? So I said yes. Then ultimately this condition, full condition will match. Can I see? Here it is checking the condition. If I'll press F10, now it came to end condition checking. So before end condition checking, already one step it has checked, and now it asked me, do you want to continue second time or not to continue second time? So while loop always asks a question, do you want to continue? But do while loop asks a question, second time onwards, do you want to continue? Understand carefully. So if I'll say F10, now it will as usual come up and then it will say, all right, enter the number. Then I will enter one more number, let's say 76. Then it will add it. Again, it will ask me, do you want to continue? Suppose I said no, I have no more number. Then this time when it will come, obviously this will be false and it will not allow me to go up. So it will go down. Have a look. Now it displayed sum is 119, 43 plus 76, 119. So 99% matching while and do while. Okay, 99% matching, and similarity is both the loops is applicable when you have no idea about number of iterations. But that 1% difference is while loop says I will not allow to execute even first time condition is not matching. But do while says first time you continue at least, then I will ask you whether you want to continue second time onwards or not. So completely depending upon your real time scenario, requirement understanding, you have to take a call. Should I use for loop, should I use while loop, or should I use do while loop? So just see this answer. I'm keeping it right side to this program. Any line, if you have any confusion, you can ask me. Yeah, Rakesh, you have any question? Correct, correct. So regardless of, that is what the definition I mentioned, regardless of your step or end or start or any condition, it will execute at least once. But yes, after executing once, it will check because condition is checked at the end of the loop. So it says, I will allow you to go to top and continue again if condition is matching. But while loop says, while coming from top to bottom itself, if this condition is not matching, I will not even allow you first time. Okay. So check the condition, then continue. Here it says continue and then check the condition to proceed further. Is that clear? Anybody else? All right. So this is direct use of loops: for loop, while loop, and do while loop. Sometimes we may need loop inside loop. Acha, one more loop is there called for each actually. We will go to that little later. Okay. Uh, there is a topic called arrays. In arrays, we are going to use that loop. Generally, we don't use for each loop. So for any kind of repetition of the work, we will go for these three loops, but only for array, collections, generic collection, database, whenever container of the data is there, lot of data is stored at a time. To manipulate those data repeatedly, then we go for each loop, but that we'll see later. So first let's understand what is that situation when loop inside loop will be used. Indirectly it is saying, we say it as nested loop. So why we will create one more notepad actually? Why not in the same notepad called loops? I will copy paste it, otherwise you may confuse something somewhere, something somewhere. So I will cut it from here and put it extremely below. All right. So what is do while we saw. Now it is time to understand loop inside loop, or we say it as nested loop. That means a repetition of repetitions. So repeating a loop. A loop itself is repeating the statement. Now repeating the loop, what do you mean? Imagine one small for loop you used who gave you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, for example. If I want to ask you, please display this particular row, what you will say? You will say for integer I equal to 1, semicolon, I less than equal to 5, I plus plus. Makes sense? If it is up to 10, less than 10, less than equal to 10, and so on. And while displaying, here you are displaying console dot write. This time I didn't use write line because I want number comma number comma number comma like that in a same line. So write means display in same line. Write line means display in new line. So I want same line, so I used write here, and I said every time you display I, please give a comma also along with this. Make sense? So this will give me this line who has the confusion. Later I will go to nested loop, first step by step. So if I want to display this on the screen, I will go for this. Who has confusion in this? That means if you have confusion in this, that means you don't have clarity on the single loop. No need to go to nested loop. So what is the question, Shiva? This actually, I will suggest you one thing. You should practice at home also. Don't try only here to understand. You try to understand at home also. Okay, that will help you quickly to understand next level. So I think probably you are not practicing at home, but okay, still you ask me, I will clear you. It's the simple most program in loop actually. So we are going to next level to loop. That means it is expected that you should understand this, but okay, ask me where exactly you have the doubt. Yep, go ahead. Correct. Okay, forget about this. uh, Imagine you have, console.writeLine, right? Okay, I'm writing console.writeLine. Here I'm saying within double quote AAA, and I'm saying after that maybe some variable is there called string s equal to AAA, and here I'm saying please display that s, and after that s you give a comma. So in this line, do you have any confusion? Later on we'll go to this loop. I'm taking little below. So only these two lines, what you understand actually. Absolutely, absolutely. That is what the understanding, right? So that means if your computer screen is there, I mean that black and white output screen, then obviously there you will see a 5 times and a comma, right? Very good, very good. If you understood this, if I will remove this line, okay, what happen? Suppose a comma you wrote. Since it is console.writeLine, automatically this cursor will go down, so that if I have something else here, let's say I have one more line called console.writeLine BBB, then this BBB will come after this line. Don't you think so? Next line, obviously, because console.write line says display it, but take the cursor down. Display it and take the cursor down. But now if I will simply remove this write line, this line, okay, for other guys also, because his doubt was not about the loop, his doubt was about write versus write line. So suppose I removed this line line, then what will happen here? It will display a. I'm deleting this line now. So in this line, it will display definitely a comma, but the cursor will be here only. Okay. So a comma and cursor is blinking there only. Next line is BBB. That means that BBB will start writing here. Okay. But imagine I'm writing CCC again here. Console.write line CCC. Suppose I'm writing here. What will happen now? The CCC will display next line. Okay. Because write line is there. So that line says break the line or take the cursor to next line, whatever you understand. Okay. So now you come to your program. Here what it will do, it will say display I, means imagine this is your output screen. First time when loop executed, it display 1. Alright. If it could be line, line, then it could have taken my cursor down and it could have displayed 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma and so on. But I said simply write, that means it should say 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma. It didn't get a chance to go to next line because every time it become write only 5 times. Okay. So and finally we will get that output. So let's try this out in actual program. Then we'll go to nested one. So I will delete this part now. This was for only understanding. So now if I will simply take this to Visual Studio, no doubt this is not nested loop. We will go to that. But first level of understanding nested loop is whether loop you are understanding or not. So come to this and should I create a new project? Oh, okay, it's okay. Here I will name the function itself as um, using nested loop and so on. All right. Let me first level take this one only. No doubt this is not nested loop, but before going to loop inside loop, first you try this, then we'll go for nested loop. So I assume this will display 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma. So let's see whether what you are assuming that is happening or not. Then we'll go to next level. So here have a look. It is displaying 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma because we wanted all should be in same line. Right means all in same line. Now someone says you repeat if only these 4 lines you are executing, if you are getting one line 1 2 3 4 5. Now if the question is repeat this 3 to 4 times, say now it says you display this, suppose. So don't you think it is repetition of repetitions? One line itself says I am repeating numbers 1 2 3 4 5 and so on. Now this as a whole, if you consider, don't you think it is repetition of repetitions? That means repeating one loop again and again. So that means entirely this loop will be kept inside one more loop. That means indirectly saying, if I will do something like this, okay, I will completely keep this inside another loop. So I will take integer n equal to 1, n less than equal to 3, n plus plus. Why I stopped at 3 here? Because 3 lines are there. Okay. If it could be 4 lines, I could have taken here n less than equal to 4. So here I gave a curly bracket starting, and that curly bracket I will close extremely below somewhere here. For better understanding, little bit space if I will give here, you can understand it better. That means if this is giving me one line, if this is giving me one line, which one? Highlighted one. If I will keep that inside another loop, then this loop indicates whatever there inside me, you repeat it 3 times. Whatever there inside me, you repeat it 3 times. And when you go into that whatever part, you saw that that itself is a loop. That means it brought n equal to 1, then it came inside, then I for 1, I for 2, I for 3, I for 4 and I for 5. So it repeated 5 times. That means my all lines are done. Now what you have to do, after coming out of this inner loop, can I say this is inner loop and this is outer loop? After coming out of the inner loop, I will break the line. Console dot write line, open bracket, close bracket, semicolon. So if you are not writing anything also, it's okay. It will just break the line. That means it will take the cursor down. Then what will happen? I'm just putting a new mute. Some sound is coming, guys. So what will happen? Now you compile it. Be a compiler. You treat yourself as a compiler while typing in the notepad. That's why the best idea is paperwork or notepad. Don't suddenly go to Visual Studio unless you get clarity. So if you are a compiler, what you will do? You came from top to bottom. First you said n equal to 1. Then you checked is n less than equal to 3. It says yes, yes, yes. Go ahead. Then you came inside. Then you said I equal to 1. Okay. So this time n equal to 1 and I equal to 1. Then this also allowed me to go inside. So it displayed 1 comma, then 2 comma, then 3 comma, then 4 comma. As long as it is displaying 1 comma, 2 comma, 3 comma, 4 comma, 5 comma, it will not come outside of this highlighted area. When it will display 5 as well with 5 comma, then internal loop iterations get over. Understand it carefully. Internal loop, all 5 iterations get over. Then it will come here. And now it will say, hey, you are here. As of now, perhaps this might have not yet displayed, but my cursor is blinking just near to that 5 comma. Now this line says, please come down. Then your cursor simply came down. By this line, your cursor simply came down because you have not displayed anything. So it simply took the cursor here. Then this close bracket is for outer loop. So this close bracket thrown the control to this line again. Then it will say, hey, previously n was 1, now n will be 2 because n plus plus. Then it will check, no problem. Is that 2 is really less than equal to 3? Answer is yes. Then it will come again inside. Then again it will start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then again it will come out of this inner loop and the cursor will going down. So finally, when it will complete all n values 1 and 2 and 3, your output should be like this. Assume 70% you understand. Let's take this program, put it in the Visual Studio, and then we'll debug it. What we understood here, whether really compiler is also doing exactly same thing or not. So take this and now put it here instead of single loop. Now it become nested loop. Loop inside loop, nested loop. So I believe it has been already called. Yep. So put a breakpoint here. Don't trust it what has written. Don't trust me what I'm saying. Just go through debugging. Feel yourself, you are the compiler. You are available there. You are jumping one by one statement and see what is happening. So come here, execute it in debug mode. F10, that means compiler came here, gave n value as 1 and suddenly it checked is that 1 is really less than equal to 3. Answer is yes, and it allowed it inside. Then it says no worry, n equal to 1, but what is next? Next is I equal to 1. So is that I really less than equal to 5? Answer is yes. So it came inside. Alright. Now I is how much? 1. Then comma, that means 1 comma. So F10. If you see your output window, as of now at least 1 comma has been displayed. Then go ahead. F10. That means I plus plus. Did it go to n plus plus? No. Unless this internal loop will be completed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then it will not get a chance to go to n plus plus. So I plus plus. Currently I value become 2. That is also less than equal to 5. Came here. Then it displayed 2 comma. Why 2 comma? Because I value is 2. So 1 comma, 2 comma. Have a look where cursor is blinking. Below or nearer to that 2? Near to that 2 only cursor is blinking, right? That means console.write. If console.write line, then probably that cursor could have come down. F10, I is 3. F10, I is 4. F10, I is 5. F10, I is 6. And answer is false. It is saying, hey, I is 6 now. I will not allow to go inside. The condition is false. So where it will come? It will come to console.write line. That means inner loop is over now. I'm expecting 1 comma, 2 comma, 3 comma, 4 comma, 5 comma as of now. One line. And cursor is blinking where as of now? In the same line. But the moment this console.write line will be executed, I will press F10 once more. Now you go and see the output. Where is the cursor now? Cursor suddenly came down. That means it is one identification that next loop when it will execute, it will start displaying in the second line instead of first line itself. Again F10. F10 means go to the next compiler level. So n plus plus, that means second iteration of the n has started. So now n become 2 instead of 1. Till then one line has already been displayed. Again it will start I from 1 and then it will go ahead 1 comma, 2 comma, 3 comma, 4 comma, 5 comma. Now it becomes 6. Then 6 means it will say no, I will not allow, and then it will come to console.write line. Then it will display one more line with cursor below. It's still not over because n value is still pending. Now n value become 3. Have a look. N value become 3 and it came down. Then again I will start from 1. 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma and 5 comma. Have a look. As of now 5 comma might have displayed, then it will come down when it will be reaching 6. Then what? It will say console.write line. Again it will go n plus plus. It is not that intelligent that it will understand my n is over. It will increment it. 3 becomes 4. then again it checked it also. Is it less than equal to 3? Then your processor will say no, 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 n is 4 now, I will not allow you because the condition is false now. Then it will not go inside anymore, and then it will come extremely last line 121. So this is what we understood. Any question mark? Yeah. Not actually, you have to see the question and you have to understand the logic actually. So there is nothing miracle that something will happen and it will come. You have to understand the logic part. Okay. So just like single loop, in single loop also, sometimes I was saying, you know, the numbers between first number and second number not necessarily to be equal, you know, step. Sometimes unequal step also. There also you are putting your own logic, right? If my first number is 1, second number is 3, third number is 5, you know, then how it is going, in which logic it is going, then we are understanding that okay, perhaps it is going 2 to gap, somewhere something else gap, somewhere something else gap. So that logic part you have to understand. In aptitude test, sometimes they ask if first number is, you know, 0, your second number is 1, third number is 4, you know, next number is 9. What is my next number, you tell me? Is it coming in sequential order? No. This is also random, but still I have a logic behind. Tell me what should be the next number? 1, 3. What is the logic behind? $16, right? Yeah. So to get this 16, how you apply some mathematical logic, right? Exactly same thing is required for your question. If it is random, it's okay, but you see the relationship between next number, next number, next number. It is actually 0 square, 1 square, 2 square, 3 square, 4 square. So behind every random number, there might be some logic, you know. So you have to find that, and then you have to apply your logic accordingly. So that means instead of simply console.writeLine I, perhaps I could have gone in this case console.writeLine or write whatever it is, I into I. What do you think? Exactly similarly, you have to think, first you have to understand in which manner these numbers are increasing or decreasing or displaying, whatever. Some logic definitely they are behind. Otherwise, loop cannot be used. There must be some logic behind. Maybe complicated logic, but must be some logic. So now I displayed I into I instead of simply I, and I took my loop as for integer I equal to 0, I equal to 0, maybe I less than or equal to 4, I plus plus. That means my random number, which is not a sequence, I made it sequence 1, 2, 3, 4, and while displaying I said I into I. So like this you have to little apply your logic, you know. For any irregular numbers also there must be some irregular logic. So now it become converted to one regular logic, right? When I is 1, it will display 1 into 1. When I is 2, it will display 2 into 2. When I is 3, it will display 3 into 3, and so on. In fact, this is not nested loop, but your question was something like whether single loop or whether nested loop, you don't bother, but numbers are not in a sequential manner, how to do. So you have to find, no doubt, to suddenly see it is not in a sequence, but behind the scene, what is the logic applied to get those numbers, you must look into it. In assignment list, there is a question like that. I will remind you that question. Question is display first 15 elements of Fibonacci series. There is a question in assignment list. Okay. C# note 3, last page, probably second last or last question you can see. So display first 15 elements of Fibonacci series. Here even I didn't give that numbers. Here even I didn't give the numbers, because usually Fibonacci series means it is starting from 1, 0 and 1 like this, and every new number will be addition of previous two numbers. 1 plus 0, 1, 1 plus 1, 2, 2 plus 1, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 5, 13, and so on. Okay. So now you tell me, is it really very standardized sequential number? No, right? But still there is a logic behind. What is that? New number is addition of previous two numbers. Start with 0 and 1, and every new number will be addition of previous two numbers. So that is how you have to little think and apply what should be the logic. Who can say what will be the next number here? (21). 13 plus 8, 21. Absolutely. So now you have to translate this understanding into program. That's it. That is, if it done, you are a good developer. You got the idea in mathematics. Now you have to translate that mathematics in your programming statement. If x is 0, if y is 1, z equal to x plus y, and display that z. That is called the core logic part. Okay. And put that inside a loop, then it will go on doing the same thing again and again. So try it out yourself. If not happening, I will help you. But this question is there in the assignment list. Single loop, no need for nested loop. That is a question of single loop only. Alright, so coming back to nested, let's implement this nested as well as single loop as well as nested loop. We understood. Let's implement these things in a real-time manner. Okay. In real-time project, where exactly this single loop or multiple loop, whatever it is, being used. To understand that, we have to understand a concept called arrays. So in arrays, collections, generic collections. So there are a couple of features new where multiple data we can keep in a single place. Like somebody says, please store 10 students marks in one place. That is called array. Or somebody says, please store one student name, roll number, marks, etc. inside a single place. That kind of data we set as collection. So these are all one chapter. We have to proceed further. So now let's look at what is array, so that real-time use of loop and nested loop we can implement in some data manipulation. So loop as well as array both are interrelated actually. So without array you cannot understand the real-time use of loop. Without loop you cannot manipulate the data into array. So let me write the heading as array. First I will make the concept clear, then we'll use loop inside one array. So what do you mean by array? Array is nothing but collection of data. It's a collection of similar type of data. What do you mean? Your marks, my marks, his marks, all has to be stored. That is called similar type of the data. But if somebody will ask your name, my marks, his result, somebody else date of birth, that is also multiple data, but your array cannot help it. So collection of similar type of the data. I will open Excel sheet to make you understand better. When I declare a variable, imagine I declared a variable something like this, integer x, and I said x equal to 300. What exactly happens by this? It goes to random access memory, it reserves a location, names it as x, gives the value as 300. Are you with me? It happens, right? Internally. We don't see it, but it happens inside random access memory. So x is the name of the variable, 300 is value of the variable, and some hexadecimal address behind there, that is called address of the variable. We already know this much. But somebody says, not just one value. One guy got total max 300, another guy got total max 290, another guy got total max 310. I want all of them. Something like this. Something like this. Here also name is x, no problem. Or here I will say also max, here I'll also say max. But this is called variable, this is called array. Contrast between both of them, you will understand better. So when you declare a variable, what exactly happens? It goes to random access memory and it declares one single location. If it is value type, data type, then it understands that 2 byte or 4 byte or 8 byte or whatever it has to be declared. It will declare, it will allocate that much memory. But if it is, reference type like string or other object, then it will not allocate specific memory. As per the data entry, it will allocate the memory, that we understood. But after all, how many locations, whether string, whether object type, whether integer, whether decimal, how many locations it reserves? Only one location, isn't it? But if similar kind of the data I want for 3 persons, first student max 300, second student's max 305, third student's max is 290. If that is the case, do you think my variable will help me? No. The moment I will give this 305, that 300 will go. It will overwrite it. Okay? It will overwrite it. So to overcome that problem, okay? To overcome that problem, we have to go for something called array. Now you can compare with the definition of the array and you can understand. So array is a collection of similar type of the data. If it is dissimilar type, it will say no, I will not help you. Somebody cannot say I will write here 300, here I will write somebody else's name, here I will write something else. That will not be allowed. That's why definition itself says similar kind of the data. So we are okay with similar kind of the data, suppose. Now when it will store one by one students data, it will allocate like 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and so on. 0 index, 1 index, 2 index, and so on. So this is called index actually. So let me write little below here. So these are all called index. Index, or you can say room number. In a layman's understanding, in room number 1, 300 is sitting. In room number 2, 305 is sitting. And in room number 3, 290 is sitting. Always this room number starts from 0. Index starts from 0. So now one additional thing came here. Name of the array is max. Value of the array is 300, 305, 290. Index of the array is 0, 1, 2. Address of the array will be hexadecimal. We don't know. It is allocated by computer. We don't know what is address, but okay, there is something also called address of the each element. So 300 is sitting in some other address, 305 is sitting in some other address. As a whole, all three addresses combined together in a single name called max, and each address will be assigned for layman's understanding 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 and so on. If there are n number of values, then the address will be n minus 1, or sorry, index will be n minus 1, because it starts from 0. So let's, whatever we understood here, let's translate this understanding in program. So how to declare this one? So if I was able to declare a variable like integer x, then how I will declare this array called max? So not x, I will say max here only. Okay, how I will declare this array here? How I will assign the value here? How I will fetch and display the value here? If somebody says I want to replace this value with some other, how to do? That is called array manipulation. So first is how to declare an array. So just as a note, variable cannot store multiple data items, because the moment you store second value, it will overwrite first value. So we need array to store such multiple values of similar type, similar data type. So this is some understanding before proceeding to how to use loop. So now comes how to use loop. So first is how to declare a, sorry, array, I mean to say, how to declare an array. Variable you declare like this, right? Now you have to say one square bracket, okay, integer square bracket x equal to, there is a keyword called new. New means allocate the memory. How much memory? Integer of 5, means each element 4444 byte into 5, that means 20 byte. Understand it carefully. New means allocate the memory. Repeating again, you are saying please create one kind of variable, not exactly a variable, it is called array. Please declare one array which will allocate the memory of integer 5, that means 5 different allocation of the memory of integer type. Integer type itself, you understand, 4 byte memory. So here understanding is it will allocate 5 elements of integer type. That means 4 byte multiplied by 5 elements equal to 20 byte. Okay, so this is what the understanding behind this line. So please allocate 5 different locations that will be capable of storing integer type data, each integer taking 4 byte. That's why total memory allocation to this x will be 20 byte. But in fact we have named it as max, so named it as max, no problem. As per our loop, here it is 3, we made it 5, so why not we will make it 5 here, whatever it is. Alright, so here it become 3, it become 4, and it become, yeah, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are all indexes. Alright, so in this line itself, except these values, everything decided. If I'll delete these values for a minute, what you see here in this area, okay, what you see here in this highlighted area, that has done now. Where is in that notepad? Yeah, in this line. Only thing is value is pending. Otherwise, schema or the structure is ready. Tabular structure, you can say. Now go to give the values. If you want to give the values, there are two ways, guys. Let me take it little right side. There are two ways to give the value. One is directly give the value. One is ask user to enter. Isn't it? In variable case also, you know that, right? In variable case also, there are two ways. Integer x directly 100 or 90. This is called assigning the value. And one more is, I don't want to assign. I will ask user to write console.writeLine, console.readLine. Here also two way. One is directly assign the value. One is called ask user to enter. So if you want to directly assign the value, just put a curly bracket here and go on giving the values. What values you want to give? 300, 305 and so on. So why not I will copy paste these things as it is. So you can directly keep these things here. This is called directly assigning the value. Okay, so let me write here the heading as declaring as well as assigning. But thing is, if you run this program 5 times also, it will take this value only, isn't it? Because you didn't ask user to enter this time. It is called directly giving the value. Now I will tell you, if I want to ask user to enter, how to do. So let's complete this at least before going to user acceptance. Simply display this particular array. Okay, already I have given direct value and display it. Then we will go to ask user to enter, then display it. Two different way. So here comes the for each loop. Okay, if you use for loop also, it is okay. For loop also possible, for each loop also possible. So let's have for loop, because you people already know for loop. If you see here, indexes start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So always you should loop through indexes. That means start from 0, go up to 4. So help me, what should I write here then? Integer I equal to 0, I less than equal to 4, makes sense. I plus plus, or also less than 5, both are same. Don't you think so? Less than 5, less than equal to 4, both are same mathematically. So let's write 4 on 5 on less than 5, no problem. So you will understand only one thing, that how many values less than that. 5 values less than 5, 10 values less than 10, 20 values less than 20, over. So you know here 5 values has been stored, so less than 5. Now here you say console.writeLine. If I'll simply display I, what will happen, guys? If I'll simply display I, what will happen? What it will display? Absolutely, it will display indexes, isn't it? Instead of values. But actually we don't want 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? With the help of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we want to display this 300, 305, 290, etc. Right? So instead of simply I, you have to say max square bracket I. This is the syntax to display ith value instead of I itself. Try to understand. I itself means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ith value means 0th value, first value, second value, and so on. So these two lines, let's take it to our program and let's try. So I will create one more project instead of continuing in the same. That project will have all the loop examples. Here we will implement the loop in array. So I will name this as you know array simply. So go for your folder. Here we name it as using arrays. Every chapter is related with previous chapter, guys. So one thing is never miss the class, and second thing is before proceeding to next chapter, make sure you overlook practice the previous chapter and try to complete all the assignments of previous chapter. That is the best idea. And who has extra time to work extra exercises, already I have suggested at the beginning, you can purchase a C book and do the exercises using C sharp syntax. At least first 4 chapters. Don't go over C sharp book. C sharp book, it will not give you these basic things. These are all basic things we are going on. C sharp book will directly start from classes and objects, object oriented programming, etc. So I will suggest go for a C book. These 4 chapters: operator, conditions, loops, and arrays. So these 4 chapters exercise, you pick it from C book and try to do it in C sharp syntax. That is those who are having extra time. But at least 1 to 2 hours if you have every day, I believe whatever I'm giving exercise, assignment, and whatever I'm showing you these things, easily you can practice it. So let's go for a function called array underscore 1. How many program, that many, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that I will give. So what we discussed, we will discuss a very simple array which is directly having some 5 values and it is displaying. Let's copy this loop also. First let's have understanding about the for loop, what we have already idea. Then we'll go to for each loop. Alright. So call this function in main. I think we are little running out of time. 5 minutes more I will take. Anybody has working today? 5 minutes we can continue, right? No problem. Alright, so I assigned direct values and I'm just putting a breakpoint here and see what is all happening behind. Better I will give console.read key. Alright, so put a breakpoint here and try it and see what exactly it is doing in the memory management. As of now, if you take the mouse to max, guys, whenever I'm debugging like this and making you understand, it is very important to understand. Actually, you will also do the same practice in future. Okay, this is for you only, because I know this will work, but you should understand how it is working, what it is doing in each and every line. That is more important. So to be a good logical developer, so max is now null. What do you mean? Meaning is that line has not yet executed, memory has not been allocated. That's why it is having null. Null means nothing. But the moment I will execute this line, F10, Have a look. It says no more null. Same marks I'm taking the mouse. It is saying no more null. There are 5 values inside it, named as marks. Click this arrow mark. It will give you idea about what are the indexes, what are the values. Imagine somebody says, I have not yet given these values. Simply I put a semicolon. It's not a mistake. Idea is I declared it, yeah, but I have not given value. That is different story. But I declared it. Memory will be allocated. So put a breakpoint now. See what happens. I'm just stopping it. It is stuck somewhere. Run it again. Yeah. So F10. In fact, now it will say null only. But the moment I will say F10, no doubt it allocated the memory, but didn't allocate the value. Have a look. So integer default value is 0. That's why 0, 0, 0, 0 giving. String default value will be null. If it is string array, null, 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 everywhere it will give. This is called only declaration without value assigning. But this is called declaration as well as assigning the value. Hope this line at least clear. Without writing that curly bracket, what happens, and with writing that curly bracket and values, what happens. Now let's put a breakpoint directly here in the loop. That means your data has been assigned, memory also has been assigned. Have a look. Memory also assigned 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Data also assigned 300, 305, etc. Now good to go. That means first time I will be 0. Then it will check, is it really less than 5? Answer is yes, true. It will allow me inside. Then instead of displaying simply I displayed marks of I. So only simply I is 0. However, marks of I is 300. Right click and quick watch. You can see what value it is containing. So first time if I'll say F10, it is going to display 300. Again, second time if I'll say F10, it is going to display 200, 305 and so on. So how many times I will execute the loop, it will go on picking that position number and display me. One time will come when I will be 6. Have a look. This time I will be 6 and then it will come down by displaying up to 5. Zeroth value, first value, second value, third value, fourth value instead of 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. See the difference. So indexes we are taking help but displaying the value. That's why marks of I. So I is index and marks of I is actual value. If somebody wants to display this in a better manner, you can say like this, you know, in index position number 0, in index position number 0, value is position number 1. Should I display first I, then marks of I? This bracket is extra, remove it. And here one bracket is missing. So I said in index position number 0, value is position number 1. So I value itself 0, 1, 2, 3, it will go and display in this position. And marks of I itself 300, 400, 305, that will go and display in this position. Okay, now run it and see. It will display 5 sentences, and sentence will be something like this. In index 0 value is 300, in index 1 value is 305, in index 2 value is 290. So this time I displayed index as well as value if necessary. So keeping it just near to this, look into this program and look into this output. This is called real-time use of loop. Actually you are going to manipulate or display the data with the help of loop in real-time projects. So those are all, whatever we did so far in loop, that was for common understanding, but here we are implementing for a purpose, for a real-time use. So arrays containing multiple students marks, and my loop is going to display all of them. Any question? Yeah, Ankur. Hmm. Correct. Correct. In the memory only, random access memory only. Correct. Correct. Okay, so there is something called stack, stack stack. Okay, so in that stack both index as well as values are being stored. So stack means you can say kind of key, arrangement of some cells, you can say, that is stack. Okay, suppose 5 people are standing there, you made a stack for them, that hey, you will be standing here, hey, you will be standing here. So you made one, you know line over there, and you said your position is this, your position is this, your position is this. That is said to be a stack, stack. Okay, so sometimes you want to fix the positioning of those people. You will say after this guy will do his work, then only we will come. So that kind of things we say either stack or we say queue. So here it stores the values in a stack actually. So a stack not only contains value but also contains indexes. Not only these two, few more also. Address of each cell also it contains. Okay, address means hexadecimal representation of the cell address. Like in this Excel sheet, if I will make you understand, uh, what you see here is two things, right? One is 0, one is 300. So here 0 is called index. Okay, here 300 is called value. Something like a 1 2 3 b 7 6, like this one hexadecimal representation number will be also there behind this cell, that is called address. So all these things will be kept by your stack. Your value, your position, your address will be here, so that whenever you are using this index, then it will go and fetch this 300. But you don't need to display or use this address, but for internal use they use this address. You cannot display that or you cannot see that. It is every cell there will be some address location. So that also a part of stack also. So you have to understand that. But as a layman user, we only see this 300, but behind scene all these things for a single cell, for a single cell. Similarly, second cell, one more index, one more value, one more address. Third cell, one more index, one more value, one more address, and so on. When all will be completed, it will name it as marks, whatever name you have given here. Okay, so no extra memory. I think your question was, does it take any extra memory? Answer is no. it doesn't take any extra memory because it will be containing inside that location called stack location all of those three things. Okay. Yep. Okay. Hmm. You have to increase here also. Absolutely possible. Possible. You go here. Now whatever you want to give the value here, you give it like this. It will be taking the sixth value also, no issue. But if you are not given 6 here, imagine you have given 5 here, then you will lose the value. In fact, it is a compilation error. It will say, because clearly compiler is able to see na, ki you have reserved me for 5, but you are giving me 6. Compiler itself will catch it. But if you are reserving your 6, but giving your 5, that is also, one error, but there is one way to solve this. It is allowed at least, you will not assign it here like this. If somebody says, I have no idea whether 5 or 6 or 4, then you don't assign it here. You have one more way of assigning it like this. Little complicated, but it will be, able to assign like this. Max square bracket 0 equal to something. Similarly, max square bracket, that particular use case I am telling you, that you have idea that 6 value is maximum, but currently you don't have that much value, then this is the way to assign. Okay, it will not show any error. But if you have idea 6, directly assigning 6 value, but unfortunately you gave it 4 or 5, with less also it will say I will not allow, with more also it will say I will not allow. It should be exactly that many. Okay, so 6 means it will be 6 only, not less than that, not more than that. Now it will be okay. So this I will just comment it for your understanding. So when should we use this way? If mismatch in between declaration and the assigning, then you have to use this way. But again, conditions apply. Even though you are using this way, if here it is 4, here you are going to give 6, this will not allow also. So more value anyway it will not allow, whether directly assign or assign offline. This is called inline assignment. Okay, and this is called offline assignment. But whatever assignment it is, actually assignment, right? So this is called offline assignment. But both the way, declaration 6 means it will never allow 7, but declaration 6, this offline will allow you 5, 4, 3 also, but inline will not allow that many. Rather, you do it like this also allowed. Suppose you have no idea, then go it like this, square bracket open and close, then no problem. 3 is also okay, 5 also okay, 6 also okay, no problem. After reading fully this line, then only it will allocate. If there are 4, sorry, how many? 6, it will allocate 6. If there are 5, it will allocate 5. That is also fine. No, 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 no. It will not do that way. When you are running this program, all the previous garbage will be cleared by processor, right? So this is going to redefine it. So it is not that existing location it is going and adding, it is redefining the memory location. Yeah. Correct. Correct. That is called garbage collection. Okay. Clearing the old unused value and redefining the new value. Okay. Yeah. It's a keyword. Wherever new keyword in future also will come, you understand it as allocation of memory. Okay. Very straightforward understanding. Anywhere new keyword came, allocation of the memory. Imagine I didn't use this new keyword right hand side part. Like this, I simply put semicolon. That means declaration done, but allocation of the memory has not done. That's why, can you see here below, it is saying, hey, you have not allocated memory and you have not assigned anything, and you are saying display it. What I will do for you? So red color underline. Got it? So new keyword means not only just declare the name, but also some allocation of the memory. Please give it for me. So right side part says allocation of the memory, left side part says array name is marks. Okay. Not exactly. This is also static memory allocation. Reason is, only difference it is counting here and allocating 5. Okay. Counting 4 and allocating 4. Later on, suppose you go here and try to insert one more, it will say no, 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 I will not allow. Okay. So it is always static allocation. That's why there is a different element called collections only for this problem. Array is having the biggest problem called static allocation of memory. Okay. Static allocation memory means it doesn't intelligently go on appending with it. It says, hey, I have 6 means I will have 6 only. I will not have more than that. Okay. So here you didn't give 5 or 6 or 4, that is different story, but it will understand by counting this. Okay. Yeah, Rakesh, you have some question? Mm-hmm. 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 Then you can use a nullable, nullable, right? Question mark. So it will not by default allow null actually, unless you put that question mark after int. So like a small variable you declare nullable, right? Similarly, one array also can be nullable. That means as of now it is null, but later on I will allow it. Okay, that is one way. Other way is, you might be having actually uh, 4 values as of now, but chances there fifth value, sixth value will enter. So this way I should said na, ki you entered it 20, something like this. Okay, you declare it 20. You have doubt between 6 to 10, but you declare it 20. No worry. While entering in future, you go ahead and give one by one, so that up to 20 it will allow. If you have at least idea maximum number how much. Okay, so that is also one way. If you have idea of how many maximum numbers may happen. So if you are declaring off the line and initializing off the line, then no worry. Today you have 5, but you have declared it as 20. Tomorrow you come and give it 6th, give it 7th, give it 8th. Up to 20 numbers, it isn't going to allow you. By chance it become more than that also, you go to top and that make that 20 to 25 or so. Okay, that is also one way instead of allowing null everywhere. Okay. Ha, correct. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct. From left to right, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, in sequence. Hmm. You cannot say that, because imagine 5 different things is happening in your computer. Okay. Let's say you are listening music also. You are giving a print command in MS Word. At the same time, you open C# and running a program. So all of them, they are taking memory only, right? Random access memory. So after which sequence what happened, you have no idea, right? So maybe within fraction of microsecond also, it allocated 23. At the meantime, you opened one music file. There it started allocating that music file. Chance is there after second register, it allocated 56. In first register 23. But there is something called address also. That's why address is there. So in whichever place it is going to store, no doubt, index 0 in register number 1, index 1 in register number 2. Absolutely fine, because your stack is going to have the information about which particular index, which particular value, and which particular address. So your stack is going to help you to pick up the values from here one, there one, etc. No worry. Okay. Absolutely, absolutely. Because your nowadays at least it is true, because all computers are multi-processor based computer, multitask based computer, multi-thread based programming. So previously 40 50 years back, when computer newly came and all that time, you can say that okay, if one work is going on, second work will never happen, because that time everything was sequential, currently everything is parallel. So you cannot assure that all my data will be kept in one place, but okay, to understand it is like this. Okay, good question. Yep. So let's stop the class here. Tomorrow, see you guys at the same time.